This episode of Soldier Knows Best is brought to you by lynda.com. Hey, what's up guys, Soldier Knows Best here. It is finally time for the showdown of the two top cell phones on the market right now, the Samsung Galaxy S4 and the HTC One. Now, I put up my own individual reviews of both of these devices, but I keep getting the question, which one is better? So I'm gonna settle that in this video right now. And so with no more delay, it's gonna start the battle with the design. All right, so for this design category, I'm gonna make this pretty quick. The HTC One is the best design phone that I've ever used personally. It looks sexy. It's the sexiest phone. The aluminum on it just really makes this phone feel great in your hand. Has a curved back, which helps to that. It was not really great if you set this thing on a desk and you want to use it because it was gonna wobble a little bit. But for the most part, HTC really took their time with the design. And every little piece of this phone, just from everything, is just really designed well. When you take a look at the S4 though, you know, it has a lot of the same characteristics as the Galaxy S3. And if you are using this thing in public, really people aren't going to really be able to tell the difference unless they know what to look for. But for the most part, the S4 does one up the HTC One because it still has that removable back. So now you can replace the battery and also upgrade your storage capabilities up to an additional 64 gigabytes with a micro SD card slot. But just purely from design, I think the HTC One is just really above everything else on the market right now. So it's going to take this category. All right, now the next category is going to be display. Now the HTC One has a 4.7-inch full HD display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080, of course. It has 460 ppi, that's pixels per inch. And you compare that to the Samsung Galaxy S4, which also has a 1080p display, and it comes in at 441 ppi, but it is slightly bigger, coming in at 5 inches. And when you're using them individually, you're going to be really satisfied with them. But we do compare them next to each other. The Samsung Galaxy S4 does seem to have brighter colors. They're not as accurate as it is on the HTC One when it comes to color representation, but for the most part, the Samsung Galaxy S4 is really going to kind of go for that wow factor when you look at the display. Where when I found with the HTC One, again, like I said before, it's more accurate, more realistic when it comes to the colors, and it is a overall brighter screen too. And then when I look at them side by side, especially when I go to a web page, I just look at the white backgrounds. The HTC One does a better job at that. And with the S4, I do like in the software, you do have a new feature called Adapt Display, which basically, depending on what you're doing and whether you're viewing a web page or looking at a photo or watching video, it's going to change the display to kind of meet your needs the best. But I still feel that the HTC One overall, because it's not as big as 5 inches, I think 4.7 inches is a nice sweet spot for display. And again, the color accuracy for the HTC One was spot on. I'm gonna have to give this display category to the HTC One as well. All right, now let's move on to performance. Now let's go and list off some of the specs of these phones. The HTC One comes with a 1.7 gigahertz quad-core processor alongside 2 gigabytes of RAM, and the Samsung Galaxy S4 features a 1.9 gigahertz quad-core processor and also 2 gigabytes of RAM. And also do note the Samsung Galaxy S4, you can get the international 8-core processor as well if you really want that. But when I did some of my benchmarking tests, I used 3D Mark, I used Quadrant, and also I used Geekbench. The Samsung Galaxy S4 did outperform the HTC One and it consistently throughout those tests. And again, it wasn't like a huge margin every single time, but just technically speaking, the Samsung Galaxy S4 is a more powerful phone than the HTC One. And again, this is just the quad-core version, not even the 8-core version, which again is going to provide you slightly better results as well. So for this performance category, I'm giving this to the Samsung Galaxy S4. All right, the next category is going to be battery life, and it's going to be another quick one because both of these are about even when it comes to battery life. They normally die around the same time every night just from normal usage, give or take 30 minutes or an hour. So neither one really just kind of has an edge in the battery life category, so you should be just fine with using them, especially if you turn down the brightness and things like that. So this battery life category is a tie to both the Galaxy S4 and the HTC One. All right, now the next category is the closest of them all. This is the camera category. And in this category, I'm looking for the best all-around experience between both of these phones. And the HTC One features their 4 megapixel ultra pixel camera, and the Samsung Galaxy S4 is rocking a 13 megapixel camera, and both of these can take full 1080p HD videos at 30 frames per second. Now outdoors with plenty of sunlight, you can see from these examples, the Samsung Galaxy S4 does beat out the HTC One in my particular test. I felt that it was sharper. It was able to really capture the images in a great way, and I think that overall the HTC One may have a little bit more natural colors. I think the S4 did just produce a better overall picture. But now when you take in any type of low light situation, whether the sun is going down, you're indoors, anything like that, the HTC One slams down the Samsung Galaxy S4 and really almost every other smartphone on the market when it comes to low light performance. Now when it comes to software, the Samsung Galaxy S4 slams down the HTC One. It has a lot of cool software software tweaks you can do with it, from the new drama mode where you can take action shots, have multiple images of that same person in one particular shot. It also does have the new dual camera mode, which allows you to record with both the front facing and rear facing camera at the same exact time. But then moving back over to the HTC One, I felt that it was faster to focus, and when I was trying to take some macro shots of flowers or anything like that, it immediately locked onto the subject I was trying to focus on. I was able to snap the pictures or multiple pictures in burst mode pretty quickly. But now it's time to pick a winner of this camera category. Now, disclaimer, I did upload this video to YouTube, but I needed to take it back down to re-edit a portion of this camera category because I messed up. But anyway, while I was doing the re-editing and actually sitting here and thinking about a little bit more, I changed my pick from the HTC One. I'm going to change it to the Samsung Galaxy S4. Because again, originally, I'm looking for the best overall camera. Now, personally, I think the HTC One is the best camera to just take out your pocket and snap a picture in almost any situation, daylight, low light situation, or indoors. But the Samsung Galaxy S4 did outperform the HTC One outdoors in sunlight. And then it also outperformed the HTC One when it comes to software. And then the HTC One beat out the S4 when it comes to low light situations. But again, overall, when you look at software and hardware performance when it comes to the cameras, I'm going to have to give it to the Samsung Galaxy S4. Now let's move on to the last category, and this is going to be software. Now both of these phones are running Android Jelly Bean, but the Samsung Galaxy S4 is updated. It has 4.2.2, where the HTC One is currently running 4.1.2. And then both of them have their own skins on top of Android, where the HTC One is running the new Sense 5.0, and the Samsung Galaxy S4 is running their TouchWiz UI. And now both of these phones really do approach software in two totally different ways. Now with the HTC One, they're going for a cleaner, simpler look to it. It's not really a whole bunch of new features really with this phone besides the new blink feed, which combines like your Facebook and your Twitter accounts. So now you can see status updates from your friends in one single kind of home screen there, which I actually do like. It's a lot like Flipboard, but I really do like having that built into the software. But for the most part, I didn't feel that HTC really spent a lot of time to create new features for this phone. They just really executed all the simple things as far as, you know, just navigating all the applications you have with the web browser. And I do like even the clock application to set your alarms. All those little different things are really spot on. Again, very clean and to the point. But when you look at something like the Galaxy S4, which has everything you can think of in this phone when it comes to software, they have the new Air View where now you can hover your finger over the screen itself to see information in your emails, or whether you're looking at pictures and things like that, which is really cool and actually really useful. And also too, you can wave your hand over the phone to see things when your phone is asleep, to see kind of basic information. A lot of cool stuff like that. Plus it has eye tracking, and then also too, you can tilt the phone to navigate stuff. And then when you look at some of the new software when it comes to S Health, so if you're really worried about, you know, trying to maintain your fitness and manage your calorie intake and your exercise habits and all those things, all that is built into it. You don't need to buy, you know, or download any separate software. And so I have heard some people say that the S4 feels bloated because it has a lot of software, but I feel that, again, I'm never going to complain that it has too many features. If you're not going to use them, just delete them from your home screen. And so ultimately, I feel like the Samsung Galaxy S4 and its software is more closer to the pure Android experience. I know it's not stock Android like Nexus devices, but it's closer to that than the HTC One, which is definitely totally in left field. But again, I did feel that the HTC One was a little bit snappier when it comes to performance, and that may be due in part because it doesn't have so much software inside of it. It did feel a little bit snappier switching between applications and just opening things up. But I cannot deny the Samsung Galaxy S4 this software category because, again, it has almost everything you could think of with the phone. Notification panel, multitasking, again, is more truer to the true Android experience, I would say. And it just has every feature you can probably think of to be able to use with the phone. So I had to give this software category to the Samsung Galaxy S4. All right, so this wraps up the battle of the HTC One versus the Samsung Galaxy S4. And we do have a winner, and the winner is the Samsung Galaxy S4. Now, again, me personally, I think both of these phones are awesome. They're #1 and #2 in the smartphone market right now. But my best advice to you guys, if you're trying to make a decision between these two phones, it comes down to two things: hardware and software. Now, if you really want the best phone hardware-wise, the HTC One is going to be your best bet. It has the better display, also has the better design and best build quality out of the two. And then also too, I love the fact that the boom sound speakers, which I didn't even show in this video, but we already know they are the best sounding speakers on the market right now. Then you look at the Samsung Galaxy S4, it really slams it home when it comes down to software features, with the Air View and S Health and a ton of new things to it as well. And again, it's going to be closer to that traditional Android experience. And also too, I didn't even mention all the NFC features and things like that it has inside of the phone. So just software wise, and just being able to do a lot of stuff with the S4 is really going to put it over the top when it comes to that. So again, hardware HTC One, software Samsung Galaxy S4. But really, either one of these phones that you choose, I think a lot of people are going to be happy with them. And hopefully this video helped you make a better decision. But anyway, I really want to hear what you think about this battle. Leave your comment down below about which phone you think won, the HTC One or the Samsung Galaxy S4, or really just which phone is going to be the best for you. Leave that comment down below. But before I do officially end this video, let's go take one last look at our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Lynda.com, which is an online learning company and has over 77,000 video tutorials to help teach you software, creative, and business skills. And so you can learn about web design, programming, photography, audio, video, 3D, and animation, a whole bunch of different things on this website. And memberships start at just $25 a month, and they provide you 24/7 unlimited access to top quality video tutorials from experts that have real world experience. And so if you want to try this out absolutely free for 7 days, you can go to lynda.com/soldier, either on your computer or your iPhone and your iPad via one of their apps. Again, that's lynda.com/soldier. All right, guys, again, thanks for watching this video. All the links down to my social networks are down below. And thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Peace from all the way back here. Peace.